What's up, you guys? It's Jaded, and welcome to another Farmin Friday. Today I want to go over competitive mindset, what it means to have like a healthy competitive mindset when you're playing games. If you don't know, the developer blog is going to be coming out soon for Diablo 3 PvP, and so I figured it's as good a time as any to go over the competition side of things, because Diablo for the most part hasn't really had any good competition in it, apart from people trying to get like world first at Inferno clears, or I don't know, world first Paragon 100, but no direct competition with each other, no dueling, none of that. And in this video I'm going to be making a lot of comparisons with League of Legends probably, but you can take this with any competitive game, with Counter-Strike, Dota, StarCraft, I mean really anything with an online competitive scene where there's some sort of community around it and people trying to get better at something. A lot of it's going to be similar across, video games in general. And also what made me inevitably want to talk about having a healthy competitive mindset is I'd been playing League of Legends a little bit here and there when I get bored of Diablo and doing ARAMs, doing, whatever, ranked normals. And every time I do that, and this isn't just League of Legends, it's every competitive game like I said before, but every time I do that, I feel like people are playing these games with the wrong mentality. They're going into the game not really understanding like what they're doing, and they don't have a clear goal of what they want to achieve. So you have people with just very, very unrealistic expectations about what should actually be happening in the game, but also people playing these games aren't looking to grow. They aren't looking to get better at a game. They just want to play it, and whatever happens, they either get upset or they're happy because they won, but they're really not looking to get better at it. They're not looking to practice and to try different things, to experiment. Whenever anyone picks a weird champion in League and like ranked, people think the guy's trolling them and like he's just being a dick. But I don't know. There's a real like lack of understanding of why you're actually playing this game. I mean, in solo queue on League of Legends, for example, there are people who just want to have fun and mess around and try different things just to be fun and entertaining. And then there's other people who think you should win every game, dominate your lane. If you die once, that's the end of the world. And I think that's where the biggest problem comes into play. The guy who wants to have fun, he might do ranked because he wants to play with his friends and, it's ranked, whatever. Who really cares? The points don't mean anything anyways. And then you have the guys who play ranked to win ELO. And right off the bat there, you have two conflicting people playing the game for different reasons. So for Diablo 3, when PvP actually comes out, there's going to be a lot of questions. There's going to be a lot of just everybody's not really going to understand like what's happening in PvP. The best builds aren't going to be out yet. The best gear is not going to be known for a long time, maybe. The best team compositions to fight other team compositions. There might be a lot of in-depth stuff that as the game progresses will get found out. On the flip side, it also might be very shallow and there's none of that there, but we don't really know yet. But what you want to have going into something like Diablo 3's PvP is just the mentality of I'm going to learn as much as I can. I'm going to take away from this as much as I can. Of course, there are going to be people out there that don't want to learn. They don't want to get better. They just want to, mess around. Maybe they're doing this in their spare time or whatever. But this is more for people who want to get better and to see this experience, this environment, this competitive game as more of a positive experience rather than just getting upset or angry or pissed off. I mean, I was definitely there when I was a lot younger, and I still feel that way every now and then, but I have to step back and realize, okay, why am I actually feeling like this? And just to have realistic expectations, and that can kind of take a while. Like as a game grows, as you start to find things out about it and everyone kind of learns the meta game and what's best, then you can kind of understand like what am I expecting out of people, and not to have like this idea that no one should ever die and anything else that's ridiculous. There are just a couple things to keep in mind. First and foremost, people make mistakes. People are going to either be experimenting, they're going to be lazy, they're gonna have a phone call, and whatever it may be, people make mistakes. This happens all the time. Again, bringing it back to League of Legends, where someone will die, or it'll look silly the way they died, but it's all in hindsight, right? Like, that guy didn't understand that maybe 3 people were waiting in a bush for him, and that person took a chance and tried to go for a kill, or maybe tried to steal blue or something like that. And there's this weird thing that happens in people's brains. Everyone, I think, does this from time to time, where you don't really realize that you're looking at the situation after the fact rather than looking at it from their point of view, before they died. So, that could be really important to notice something like that in yourself, to notice that you're doing that. Now, another thing I want to bring up is, when you see people being really nasty, just in general being a dick, and for no reason. So I want to talk about projecting different energies and like what that actually means, and going over it and putting it in a way that you guys can maybe see it in a different way. So you could take the situation of maybe 5 people are sitting in a room and they're just talking over like whatever, they're having coffee, and they're just sitting there having a pleasant conversation. And then a guy walks into that room and he's yelling, he's screaming, he's upset clearly over something. The people sitting there having that conversation, they have to stop what they're doing and completely focus on this, because this energy that the guy brought into the room now is taking over. No longer can they sit there and joke about stuff. They have to deal with this situation. And that's kind of like the way I see energy. Now, when it comes to competitive gaming, you can relate this to the guy who comes in, and when someone dies on your team, that guy just instantly starts shit-talking them, calling them stupid and idiot. You name it, people have said it. And maybe he's spamming the chat, he's super annoyed, he's talking to the enemy team like it's already over. And it's sort of the same deal where everybody has to focus on that energy. Everyone's like looking at that and going, okay, now that puts me in a bad mood, or the guy who died now feels like, I don't know, he's worthless or something. Like, it doesn't promote or benefit you in any way by acting like that, and it's just going to make that person feel terrible, maybe play even worse. They're not going to want to play anymore, they're going to want to quit, forfeit the game or whatever. And I see this so often, where your team will get behind in some way, and then one guy on your team will just instantly type /FF, I want to forfeit the game, let's move on to the next one, we already lost. And then 20 minutes later, you win the game. Like, how does that happen? And I've seen that countless times. People just giving up on something that's not really over. And, the closest games in the history of anything, the closest comebacks, the nail biter, the best games ever, were games that were forfeit. And we didn't get to watch them because somebody quit too early. They gave up. They were in the headspace like we already lost. And that's just really negative thinking, and it's really too bad that runs so prevalent in online games. Any competitive game. Look at StarCraft and itsJaded, for example. He's known to GG early because he just gets it in his head that, okay, I did something wrong and I shouldn't be able to come back from that, so I quit. You win, I give up. But another thing that you guys can use that will help you get better or improve at really anything, not just competitive games, is looking at something from the standpoint of you suck. And I'm sure there's some ancient Asian samurai saying where you have to look at it from the point where you're always learning something. Even like someone who's considered a master is always learning new stuff. That's how he improves and grows. But a lot of pro gamers will say this. They'll say, okay, I have to look at the game from a standpoint that I suck at it, and only then can you get better at something. You have to remove all ego that you're godlike or you're amazing or no one can beat you, you're the best, and the only reason you ever lost was because someone cheated or someone used cheap tactics. You have to look at every play that happens in a game, every little tactic, every little strategy that people use. You have to look at it and sort of address, like, okay, what can I take out of this? What can I learn from this to be a better me at this game? And I feel like a lot of people playing these competitive games don't do any of this. They aren't looking objectively at the gameplay that's happening, They're not trying to get better. They're not trying to improve. And that's really too bad, because it creates this like hostile environment where people think everyone should be the best already, but that's not the case. And so you get a lot of angry, you get a lot of frustrated, people just yelling at you for no reason, creating sort of a hostile environment that you don't want to play in. And nobody benefits from any of that. Nobody wants to be in this toxic environment. And, you know, I'm not expecting this video to change the way everybody thinks about competitive games, or, I don't know, to open everybody's eyes. But hopefully what it can do is make you realize why you're feeling these feelings, or to, I don't know, just reassess your own situation, your own feelings, your own ideas behind, like, not having unrealistic expectations out of people, and to try to bring your own positive energy. I don't know, for some reason saying like positive energy just sounds so cheesy, but in reality, like when you're complimenting people, even if you just don't talk at all, it can just be much more beneficial to everybody, rather than sitting there and scrutinizing everyone for their mistakes. So anyways, there's probably a lot more stuff that I forgot to cover that I wanted to talk about on this, but I don't want to make this commentary super long. But I'm really looking forward to the dev blog, or whatever they put up, the information on the PvP coming out. Really excited to see like all the details and stuff, especially seeing like what you could spend your PvP tokens on, if that's still in the game, because that kind of got leaked and there's no real info on that. But anyways, that's gonna do it for me, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'm gonna have the State of the Wizard going up next, I believe, and then after that I'll be doing the set giveaway. So stick tuned for that. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you guys next time.